Today, I'm going to rank all the Jurassic Park / World films in order going from worst to best. And I'm going to include where the new film sits in amongst them, in my opinion. So, here's the spoiler warning. Let's start with the worst. Number 7, Jurassic World Dominion. So this film is very deserving of the spot because the story focuses on crop-eating locusts rather than the dinosaurs, especially when the last film set up that you had an entire world filled with dinosaurs and they just don't do anything with it, which is just crazy to me. There's only one small dino-based plot, and that is of Baby Blue and how it connects to the human clone character, which again I didn't like because it just takes a major front seat at the expense of the dinosaurs. I actually didn't mind. I quite like some of the action scenes. Yeah, they played homage to things like Jason Bourne and Fast and Furious, but they were quite well done. I just didn't like how they got into them, and I didn't like the villain characters that were sort of chasing them. They were like straight out of James Bond. It was so bizarre. And what I mean by how they got into them, like, it was really lazy the way you'd have characters meet other characters. Now, every film has this, but this film really took it to another level. It just kept throwing it in your face. It's such lazy script writing. Case in point, there'd be all the characters be in the car would roll down the hill, they'd get out of the car, and the other characters had, who were also going on a journey, just happened to be there at that moment. Another one was Claire, the character. She asks for help from this pilot lady, who was also very good, by the way. Her performance was very good, but she's asking for her help and she refuses it. And then 5 minutes later, she's sort of hanging from a building. She falls from it and she lands in the car that she's driving. And then that lady just decides, oh, you know what? I'm going to help you now. It's just loads of things like that. It really kind of took me out of the movie. One thing when this film came out, I was looking forward to was having the old cast come back. I did like to see them. They do give great performances, but it's just how they're used in the story I really didn't like. And there's one thing, and I'll end it with this. Owen Grady does this sort of hand gesture to keep the dinosaurs at bay. It worked in Jurassic World because he had a bond with the dinosaurs, but in this one, he's almost like a Jedi, using it on every dinosaur he comes across. And then if that's not bad enough, some of the other characters were doing the same thing and they would get the same result. Number 6, Jurassic Park 3. This film unfortunately just didn't really make any impression on me. It was a very generic action adventure film, and what with it being a Jurassic Park film, the bar was kind of set quite high, and it was a bit of a shame to see it sort of go to this sort of level where it just sort of washes over you and it becomes like every other movie. The dinosaurs aren't very scary. Well, in fact, there's only one scary scene, and that's the pterodactyl, or whatever you call them. That bit with the cage, the bird cage, that was good. But then what would happen too often is moments would get undermined. Case in point being, you had a Spinosaurus attack at the end of the film, and it was really well done. It's a really good set piece, but it gets undermined by the sheer fact that it keeps cutting between this drama scene and Barney the dinosaur at home. If you watch the film, you know what I mean. Now, of course, Sam Neill was back as Alan Grant. He was really good, gave a really great performance. Again, though, I just didn't really like how his character was used. The main storyline about the raptors would have been the dominant species on the planet is just quite laughably bad. But when he's in the moment, he's on the island, I really quite liked him. And another drawback is the family are really quite annoying in the film, and you just really don't care about any of them. Number 5, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This film started out really well, and in fact the first half of the film is really, really good. I love the fact that Isla Nublar, the island that they're on, is having a volcanic eruption, and there's a ticking time bomb essentially to get those dinosaurs off there. It's got good drama, it's got good dino scares, it's got some really good scenes. I really quite liked the way Owen Grady was reintroduced in the story. Claire goes for his help, and the two new characters, I can't remember their names, but the guy, the computer tech guy, he actually had me laughing throughout. I think he was a really good character. I just loved that he really didn't want to be there. When I watched this film, when it got to that halfway point where they go to the house and they take all the dinosaurs with them, I was like, this is really a stupid idea, but okay, we'll see where it goes. And the end result is it's for them to sell dinosaurs on the black market, which they never really went into any detail as to why they would do that. I think we could have had a bit more there, but I didn't really like that part of it. And of course, this is where the human clone story was introduced. Again, I didn't love it. It was okay, very first time I saw it, I remember as soon as they arrived at that house, I was like, oh my word, you're bringing the dinosaurs here? Oh, don't like where this is going, especially after all the fun we just had with the first half. Number 4, Jurassic World Rebirth. This was quite a surprising entry in the series. I mean, it was lots of fun. The story was brought back to a more simple state. I like the performances from all 3 of the main cast members. In fact, top to bottom, I think everyone was actually pretty good in this movie. It had some very memorable set pieces. The T-Rex attack, the Mosasaurus and the Spinosaurus attack was great fun. Even the new additions of the D-Rex and the Mutodons, I really enjoyed them. Although there was a couple of characters you were sure that they were just there. They were the red shirts. They were the ones that definitely going to die. There was a few surprises, which was nice. What I really liked, what some of the other films didn't do, is they brought the scare factor back and also kept that wonder element from the original film. Now, of course, every movie has a flaw, and this one's is some of its CGI. 50% of it was really, really good, and I think 50% of it was quite bad. It just kind of took me out of the picture for a moment. In some ways, it is a little bit like Jurassic Park 3 with its simplicity of the story, but I think this one did it right. And now to number 3, Jurassic Park: The Lost World. So of course this is Steven Spielberg's sequel to the original Jurassic Park. This one was actually pretty good, having Ian Malcolm take like the center role in the story. We love that you got introduced to some of the new dinosaurs you'd never seen before, like the Stegosaurus and the one where it uses his head to ram into things. The cast that they had to play the characters were very good. Unfortunately, the characters themselves made some really, really silly decisions during the story, and unfortunately it made them quite unlikable. One of those being when they bring the baby T-Rex back to help it, you're just thinking that's a really, really bad idea. And unfortunately, it does lead to a death of one of their teammates, especially it's the guy who got them out of the situation, and that's what he gets for it. So unfortunately for the rest of the film, you're really not liking these people. And of course, the finale of the film was pretty decent. Actually getting the dinosaur onto the mainland was which had never been seen before, was actually pretty cool. So I like the way that movie ended. Number 2 on our list is Jurassic World. This is the film that brought the Jurassic franchise back. After Jurassic Park 3, interest in the dino films wasn't very high, but this thing, I remember a lot of people being super excited about this. It was really cool to see the theme part actually realised. I had so much fun as they explored that part of it. It was really kind of cool to see that the scientists were actually making the dinosaurs just for the sake of bringing more people in. It kind of addressed in the story itself that people were kind of a bit mute, a bit fed up of dinosaurs, and it's nice to see that in the story. So when you've got them making hybrid dinosaurs and they're just putting them out there just to create publicity, it was something we hadn't seen in the Jurassic Park franchise up to this point. Now, I have heard some people say that they thought they made the raptors less scary. I think they got the balance right. I mean, you had Owen Grady having a relationship, a bond with the dinosaurs, the raptors, but then the second half of the film, they made it very clear that these dinosaurs are still a threat. Now, if there's anything about this film I didn't like, it might have been the introduction of the story of these dinosaurs being used for military purposes. Is a little bit silly. And the other thing was about the T-Rex. Although it was great to see him on screen, they did make him less threatening. It's funny to hear people talk about how they thought the raptors were less threatening in Jurassic World. I actually found it was the T-Rex. They make him like the kind of the hero of the story. When Claire is luring him out of his cage with the flare, wearing high heels, you never felt that she was ever going to get killed by the T-Rex, and nobody else for that matter as well. I don't know, it's just they could have done that differently for me. I remember watching that the first time and I was a bit like, oh, nah, they could have made that have more tension. Could have made you feel like you don't want to get in the T-Rex's way at the same time. Okay, so the surprise that comes to nobody, what is number 1? That is, of course, Jurassic Park, the original, the best. Now, of course, as good as some of the other films were, this one is miles above the rest of them. Spielberg did an amazing job of making you in awe of the dinosaurs, but at the same time being scared of the dinosaurs. This film had amazing set pieces. You had the dread of the T-Rex paddock attack. Then before that you had the awe-inspiring moment where you first see a dinosaur, when they first see a Brachiosaurus. Then you have the raptors, which were very cleverly used very differently from the T-Rex, because you remember the T-Rex is huge, but if you stood still and quiet, he wouldn't come near you. Whereas with the raptors, you could shut yourself in a building and be quiet, but that wouldn't save you from the raptors. It was really nice how you got those two things and one built upon the other. I did love some of the challenges the characters faced. One really clever one was the fact that, yes, they could get the power on and put all the fences up so the dinosaurs couldn't escape, but in doing that they'd have to switch off the raptor fences so the raptors would get out. This film did a very good job of giving you the moral dilemma of, is it a good idea to bring dinosaurs back into the real world or not? Something the other films were severely lacking. And let's not forget, dinosaur films were not a thing until this film came along. I remember seeing it and then wanting to watch another dinosaur film at the time, and there was just nothing to watch, not on the same level. This had a great story, great visuals, groundbreaking CGI and puppetry effects, and it absolutely is one of Steven Spielberg's best films of all time. This will always be the best Jurassic Park or Jurassic World film of them all. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video going from the worst to the best Jurassic films. If you did like the video, please press the like button, and of course, if you'd like to follow us in future, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.